Hey guys, Besa Gordon here. Until next time, you already know what I'm going to tell you to do. Have an amazing rest of your day. And of course, keep that energy high. Welcome to another episode of Back2Besa. I'm your host, Besa Gordon. As usual, we have a lot to cover this week. So if you haven't already grabbed your snacks, this is the time. This week on Back2Besa, I'm headed to the Central District as the Seahawks delivered big on a promise that they made a few weeks ago to the CD Panthers. The Katie Hall Foundation teams up with the American Red Cross for a Sickle Cell Blood Drive in the CD. I link up with Creative Justice to volunteer for their back-to-school clothing giveaway. I bring the Rotary Boys and Girls Club lady-style basketball team with me to the last Storm game of the season. Speaking of seasons, it is the third Saturday of the month, and Traveling While Black is back, and this time they are giving us 4 tips of things to do this fall season. Plus, the Poetry Experience celebrates 25 years of experiences, and you already know our cameras were there to capture the moment. But first up is Hot Topics. In case you missed it, we had the VMAs that went down this Sunday, and dude, Best New Artist of the Year was Ice Spice.
Y'all, thank you so much. Thank you, MTV. Oh my God, this is so cool. I just want to thank my munchkins. I love you guys so much. I want to thank my manager, James. I want to thank my producer, Riot.
Best Hip Hop went to Nicki Minaj for Super Freaky Girl.
You guys, thank you so much. You know what? So often I, joke around and play around and stuff. But tonight, I don't know why, but this morning when I woke up, I had this really strong sense of gratitude. And that's the truth. So I just want to say I thank you guys, the people who go out and support, the people who never skip a beat on the internet, holding us down, the people who at the tours, and I want to just thank you guys.
Best R&B winner this year was SZA for her song Short, and although she wasn't there to accept her own award, she took to social media to say, haven't logged into social media in over a month. Thanks for the Moon Man in TV, and thank you, Dave Myers and my team. Must be nice to not have to log into social media for a month, but let's continue. Now, performance-wise, if you ask me who stole the show, I would say Shakira, who gave us a mini concert before accepting the Video Vanguard Award. Diddy, when he brought out Keisha Cole, Young Miami, and 3 of his kids during his Global Icon set, before accepting the award, of course. And in case you missed his speech, check out what you missed.
I give all glory to God. Thank you so much. This is a dream come true. This is a dream come true for me. I grew up watching MTV like, man, I wish one day I could be up there. And, I started out as a paper boy, y'all. I didn't know I was gonna be here. Started out as a paper boy at 12. And then I was gonna be an NFL football player for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers didn't know this, but I planned on being a football player, and my leg got broke the last year. And then I got depressed, and then I would be in the clubs dancing in New York, doing my Diddy Bop, and then people would see me and they would cast me for videos. And that's how I fell in love with the music industry. I saw the executives and I wanted to chase that dream. So I want to thank every executive, every producer, every songwriter. I gotta thank the Bad Boy family, because without them I would not be up here. Everybody from the Bad Boy.
can't forget Nicki Minaj, okay? Sis hosted the whole show. And also, if you ask me, stole the show when she performed an unreleased track off of her album, Pink Print 2, which drops in November. Now, of course, if you have anything that you ever want for me to talk about right here during Hot Topics, as usual, dude, send me an email at Back2Besa@whereweconverge.com with all the details. Okay, guys, it's now time for Backstage Pass, powered by Quantum Fiber. This week, I take you behind the scenes in the Central District as the Seattle Seahawks showed up big and delivered on a promise they made a few weeks ago to the CD Panthers to bring some surprise and delight to the beloved Little League football and cheer program. While there, I got to hang backstage with Blitz, the Seahawks cheerleaders, and even met a few players. Check out what went down.
As the Seattle Seahawks organization, we're going to continue to support you as much as we can. In fact, we will be back here on September 9th for your game. We're going to bring our mascot, our Seahawk dancers, our band. We're going to bring some former players and some players. So we're coming to support. So all I ask to make sure that we come is that you continue to be good human beings, good students, good to your parents, to your grandparents, and make sure you play hard.
Always feels good to come out here. You know, you guys make everything feel like home.
Yeah, we're out here at Judkins Park with the CD Panthers. They've got their games today against B12. We brought out the Seahawks dancers, Blitz, 2 players, Derek Young and Trey Brown, both phenomenal guys, took time out of their busy day before a game day just to spend time in the city, you know, giving love to these young people, showing them that they matter and that this game matters, and trying to give them some few words of encouragement. Recently also, Councilmember Girmay was able to help donate $100,000 in grants to the CD Panthers. This is for scholarships and supporting youth of the CD Panthers to be able to not have any barriers to play youth football, including equipment and fees associated with playing youth football. This was phenomenal. Mario and Girmay spent time, and we kind of made a promise to come out here to CD Panthers, bring some players out, bring the Seahawks kind of surprise and delight element, and just spend some time with the CD Panthers and show that we see them and we hear them, and that we're here to invest in them in our backyard and our community.
We've got $1,000 going towards some equipment to help out CD Panthers continue to grow and develop. Please give it up for Shalay and Shimon.
Really just trying to show that, you know, we care about our backyard, we care about youth football. A lot of guys like Trey and Derek, they talked about it today, grew up in youth programs similar to this. Great things can happen for these young people thanks to youth programs like the CD Panthers.
Shout out to Kyle Doherty, Mario Bailey, Seahawks players Trey Brown, Derek Young, Blitz, and the cheerleaders. Not only for your monetary donation to the CD Panthers, but also for the donation of your time. You could literally see and feel the kids' faces light up seeing you present on the field. We're off to our first commercial break, but when we come back, we highlight a blood drive that was put on by the Katie Hall Foundation to benefit those with sickle cell disease in our area. And we give back to kids heading back to school with creative justice. Welcome back to Back2Besa. The giving continued last week as the Katie Hall Foundation teamed up with the American Red Cross for a sickle cell blood drive in the Central District. Sickle cell is a blood disorder that is prevalent in African Americans. To be born with sickle cell disease, a child has to inherit the sickle cell gene trait from both their parents. Blood drives like this one are important because individuals with sickle cell disease also require, or shall I say often require, blood transfusions annually to manage complications complications arising from the condition. It is more likely for a sickle cell patient to find a compatible blood match from a donor within their own racial or ethnic group. Let's take a moment to learn more.
Today, the Katie Hall Foundation, we partner up with American Red Cross, and we're holding our very first blood drive. And this blood drive in particular is to focus in on our sickle cell community in Seattle, in Puget Sound, in the Central District. Sickle cell, just to give you some context, as of 2020, it impacted 41.6 million people. 41.6 million, okay? And so when people are living with sickle cell anemia, it's a blood disorder. And so depending on the weather, depending on stressors, depending on food, diet, and sometimes just uncontrollables, a person can go into a sickle cell crisis. Those crises can be from just being tired, not feeling too good, to extreme pain in the extremities, to strokes, to heart attacks, and even death. So sickle cell is such an important disease that we, especially as Black people, really should be looking into. There's not a lot of research and development dollars given into sickle cell, and our kids deal with sickle cell anemia. I'm a carrier of sickle cell anemia. I didn't find that out until I was 32.5 years old. When I gave birth to my oldest daughter. And my daughter, when they said that she had sickle cell, I'm like, how, what are you talking about? I don't have sickle cell. We always knew that my husband had the S trait, high school sweetheart, so I've known that since I've been 15. But with sickle cell, what a lot of people don't know is like back in 1982 when I was born, everyone wasn't being checked for the C trait. So that developed over time. 2006 is when across the United States, where they started to make it where every single child that is born is tested for sickle cell. So when I was born back in 1982, I just went home like, hey, everything's good. Didn't know until I was 32.5 that I was also a carrier. So my daughter, KJ, has sickle cell anemia, and we say that she's living resiliently with sickle cell. She has SC, and I want to say that too to our community. It's very important to know what type of sickle cell that you have.
I think so far it's been a great experience. I haven't been here for long, but I hope to be here for a long time coming. I really love it. I love the mission behind it, and I love that we're like doing things for like girls, young girls, especially like people that look like me. I wish growing up I was in a program like this because like we're working on like personal development, personal growth, and things of that sort. And also like my boss, Katie, she's like such an amazing woman and like such an inspiring woman. And to be like working underneath her, I think is like just a great opportunity. And I feel like it's just a lot of opportunities, like meeting people, like being out in the community, and like things of that sort.
And Katie Hall Foundation is an incubator. It's an incubator in our state for women and girls to be able to learn, get paid, and being able to bring awareness to many issues. So leadership is one of the things that we work on. We have over 50 girls throughout Washington State and 8 in Nigeria, and they come together virtually, they come together in person, and they work on initiatives that impact women and girls across our country and globally. Our Nigerian cohort, what I love about them so much is they came up with an app idea this year for safety for women and girls. And that app, we are now actually creating that app. We got funding from a group called CHI, and so we're creating that app, and the app will roll out in October, and it'll be available for girls in the state of Washington as well as young girls in Nigeria.
I think if we could share really the importance of leukemia, because when my grandfather passed away, I found out that he did have leukemia, but it was only after the fact that he had passed away. And so it's important that if we get the word out, the importance of contributing blood from Black and brown people, that it'll help other people who look just as them. And even though it doesn't hit your household, you should care enough about your community and people who look like you to help and support. That's what makes us one. We're here for a responsibility to help each other, not to be selfish individuals.
Thank you for covering our blood drive today. I'm KD, so happy to be here with you all. If you want to reach out to us at Katie Hall Foundation, please go to our website, KD Hall Foundation.
Thank you to the Katie Hall Foundation, the American Red Cross, along with everyone who came out to donate. Personally, I had a very close friend pass away due to complications of sickle cell. So this story really hits home for me because I truly miss my sis, you guys. Now, You can learn more about the Katie Hall Foundation by visiting katiehallfoundation.org. And you can learn more about donating blood by visiting redcross.org. Now, one thing about me is that I am all about giving back, especially to our youth and those most in need throughout our region. So, when Creative Justice, a Seattle-based organization that works with youth and young adults, asked me to come in early last Saturday and volunteer for their back-to-school clothing giveaway, best believe I was on the way. Hey guys, Besa Gordon here, currently in the CD over at Washington Hall at the Creative Justice Back to School giveaway. Dude, we got a lot going on today, but I wanted to get here early. That way I can, one, help put some of the clothes out, and two, talk to some of the amazing people that are putting together this give back.
Today we have a back-to-school event, Creative Justice Back-to-School event with Peace Community Closet. We've got different items, supplies, clothing, resources. We've got some enrollment and stuff for folks who want to sign up for Creative Justice.
Growing up with a huge family, we've always poured back into our community. I'd never had less than, but having a heart for people and just wanting to pour into people is really what founded this. I love to make sure that everyone around me is doing well. Naturally, I'm a nurturer, so I just felt like when the pandemic hit, I was seeing so many people that were on the streets or just were trying to figure out where their next meal, hygiene, or just clothing was coming from. I loaded up my Jeep and we've been riding since.
I think just wanting to be in the community and show up, and you know, we really care about providing basic needs support to the young people in our programming, and also just to like opening that up and being forward-facing to the community. And you know, back to school is a great time where people need new clothes, they need new items, and they need to be connected to resources. I think folks just like being able to connect, meet new folks. Oftentimes we meet young people who want to get involved in creative justice, so it can be a really nice time to connect and you know, figure out what we can do to support them beyond just today.
I feel like because everyone is kind of in their own world, it's easy to be removed from what's really going on right here. And so for me, I know that when I see something, I want to act on it. And I think by doing that, it's bringing to light the things that are missing in our community day by day.
For me personally, just to, you know, share our values in the community, show up, and have an opportunity to just bring people together.
All right, you guys, I'm about to get out of here because we got a lot of things going on today, but I had to say thank you so much to the people over at Creative Justice for putting this on for the kids. They had some really, really dope clothes. I seen a Tupac shirt, I seen some Snoopy shirts, and a few other things, man, and there were haircuts happening. So look, until next time, you already know what I'm gonna say. Have an amazing rest of your day. Let me tell you something. It's always a great feeling when I'm able to give back to the community I grew up in. Huge thank you to Creative Justice for inviting me to lend a helping hand for a great cause. And also big shout out to Portia Flowers from Peace Community Closet for providing all the clothes. And also much love to the oh so talented I Am Shamel, who donated her time by giving haircuts to the youth. You can learn more about Creative Justice by visiting www.creativejusticenw.org. Now we're off to another commercial break, but y'all know I love a good poetry moment. So when we come back, we are celebrating 25 years of the poetry experience.
The Fifth Avenue Theater presents Disney's The Little Mermaid the Musical. Live on stage this September, Ariel soars above the stage to find the world of her dreams and a life of romance and adventure. Featuring your favorite songs and characters, performing just for you at the beautiful Fifth Avenue Theater in downtown Seattle. Tickets are on sale now. Fun for the whole family to enjoy together, and special pricing for groups of 10 or more. Only at the Fifth Avenue Theater. Order today at fifthavenue.org.
Welcome back to Back2Besa. Recently, a dozen Seattle-based poets came together to celebrate 25 years of the poetry experience, which poet Rajani Eden started to create space to explore poetry with people closer to his age after being introduced to it by his mother. It was a day of soulful expression and homecoming. Our producer, Winfield Ezel Jr., was there to capture the vibes.
the way you and I communicate is, if the way you and I relate is communication based, then we too can take leaps of faith and land safe on.
Background, my mother, Randy Edens, is the founder of the first Black writers group in the Northwest, known as the African American Writers Alliance. And I was the only child member at age 11. So I grew up immersed in a rich array of brilliant artists, creatives, and essential when essential was black, you know, so we really connected to our elders and a beautiful diversity of unique self-expression that gave us a love for the craft. And I started finding as I got older that I saw a lot of gifts and talents and brilliance in my peers, because they were coming up with whole cloth pieces just off their head. And I was like, Mom, I want to do something with folks my own age too. And she said, okay, maybe we can put something together that can bring your peers into the space, and that's not just focused for people of African descent that had multi-ethnic opportunity to participate. And so we put together the poetry experience, the first one, over at Douglas Truth Library in 1998. This year serves to be the 25th year.
Same price I'm paying for a studio with a broken heater, my landlord still making me pay for it. But it's like what we used to pay. It's like the only place that remembers us is too far to even remember.
We've never stopped being under fire, you know, as Black people and poor people. And people in general need an opportunity to be able to share their narrative and the stories from their own perspectives. But particularly Black people, and who are the founders of not only human civilization, but so much in the world since then. Because of our narratives have always been intended to be under attack, we have to put careful, sacred intentionality around preserving the stories that make us who we are, and that empower us, uplift us, remind us of our value, affirm us in our true character, and let us feel a sense of being well-seated in ourselves.
In the 80s, growing up in New York City, because there was this moment in which gentrification happened. The poetry experience, first of all, it was always safe, and it was not necessarily, you know, like you could come in any, and do any of the work that you needed to do. And being a person of color in a world like this, that is hard to come by. Just accepted you anyway, any day. You can't get that. But especially when you're doing deep, transformative work, you can't get that. And so that's what the poetry experience meant for me.
If this here are the odds we are given, if the system is under capital control, then that means their motives are economically driven.
There's a powerful connection in being open to be intimately vulnerable and courageously so, that not only frees you, but liberates others. So all of the people who came tonight are practitioners and witnesses of that same practice. So it was only fitting that we hold space for us all to share and regather, because we receive so much value from it in tandem.
Okay, guys, so true story. From elementary to my freshman year of college, I wrote poems as a form of expression. It was a way for me to really get my thoughts out in a judgment-free way. And believe it or not, I still have them all in a binder. We're off to another break, but when we come back, we're off to the Seattle Storm game with the Seattle Rotary lady-style basketball team. And I go one-on-one with Seattle's Mayor Harrell at the Seattle Slam Showdown Youth Basketball Tournament. Welcome back to Back2Besa. Mayor Harrell's downtown activation plan brought excitement, youth, and families to Belltown for a free basketball tournament last weekend at the Taylor and Fifth Ave Plaza as a way to activate the area. Now, as someone who lives down the street, there was no way I was going to miss this opportunity to not only attend, but try to shoot a few hoops and ask the mayor about his plans.
I'm gonna tell you why we like our athletes. We like our athletes because you bring the best out in us. Young folks, whether you win or lose, you always try to win. But even if you lose, you thank the other person for bringing out the best in you.
Today, I came to see all the players and all the kids that are here that have good talent. I came to shoot around today.
Normally you come on Denny, it's like cars coming through here.
Yeah.
Now you got a whole basketball court.
Whole court and basketball hoop.
What does this mean to you as like the youth in downtown Seattle to do something like this?
It means it's a great thing because I got to play a couple people that beat me, beat some of a couple people, exposing more kids so they can get the shine they needed.
I think it's important because I think Les Brown said it best. He said some people don't aim at something and miss. They aim at nothing and hit nothing dead on the head. We just want to give our youth a target. We want to give them a target that they can be a part of something. We want to give them a target that this is the way to go. You don't have to leave this city. It's safe, it's comfortable, and more importantly, the city cares.
Well, what's happening is you see the city trying to make areas activated for kids. Teamwork is essential. You only see people in your uniform you're trying to help, right? And so all these life skills are critical. And again, we want to take an area and activate it to get our city back on the right track. So that's our effort.
Now, let's be honest, this area around Denny has definitely changed over the years. Right. And, you know, for us to be able to be right here on Denny, got the trains going, right. We got the kids out, everyone's having a good time. Like, how does that feel right now?
It feels great. I love the atmosphere. I love how it gives them just an opportunity just to be outside with other kids. So this is awesome.
Just because you're not good at something doesn't mean you can't go learn how to.
True.
So ultimately, if we did this every day, all day, because ultimately I'm never gonna stop doing this, right? So if you watch carefully, even if I move my feet, but my hands are still doing the same exact thing. So for most kids, we try to teach, be fundamental, because life is always gonna be the exact same thing. Now I might move my feet, but everything else is fundamental. So such is life. Math is still the same, but the way I learn it is the way I move my feet. But the answer, the common denominator is always gonna be the same.
Now, I feel like everyone is getting along so well.
Yeah.
Like there's like all this extra teamwork. Have you made any new friends at this event?
Yeah, I made a lot of new friends from all different teams around. Met a couple ones right here playing 1v1.
I think the city has a role to help develop our youth and to develop them in ways that they can get along with people, they can have good conversations instead of talking past each other and yelling at each other. Some of this adult behavior, I'm like, maybe they weren't coached the right way. So I think it's part of our strategy to bring communities together.
No, when I was talking to the mayor, he was saying that you plan on really reactivating this city. What are some of your plans?
So I'm on the edge of my seat. So Seattle mentorship is gonna blow up in a major way. It's the ultimate umbrella, but ultimately we have something called the Evolving Entourage. And that is a direct mentorship-mentee relationship so that students who don't go to college will have an opportunity to learn trade and never feel like they have to leave Seattle to be successful, while all at the same time developing partnerships with community-based organizations and using our platform as an extension cord to the city. Therefore, we all have the same source, we all have the same power, and then it's the gift that keeps on giving. That way we will never lose a generation because we'll always go back to get the future. No pun intended with the movie.
But I have to tell you, as mayor, you are helping us get this city back. Parents, coaches, you are helping us get the city back. We have to get our city back to where we can be safe and we can be active.
I think it's safe to say basketball is not something I've practiced. Like, the first shot I made went into the street. However, events like this are all about bringing together the community and having a good time. Earlier today was the kickoff to the city's pickleball tournament back there in Belltown. And in case you didn't make it, you can still come tomorrow for day 2. To learn more about the city's downtown activation plan, head over to downtownisyou.com. Now, the Seattle Storm might have lost their final game of the season last Sunday over at Climate Pledge Arena, but despite the L, I had a great time catching up with the Seattle Rotary Lady Style basketball team and learning more about a program that has been impacting girls on and off the court in a positive way for years. Hey guys, Besa Gordon here. Right now we are in downtown Seattle at Climate Pledge Arena for today's Storm game, and this one is going to be very, very special. I always tell you guys about how I used to go to the Rotary Boys and Girls Club when I was younger, and today I am bringing the girls basketball team to today's Storm game, so this is going to be a vibe. But right now, we're just waiting for them to arrive.
We all of a sudden were approached and asked if we wanted to come down in the tunnel, and of course the girls were super excited. So there we got to meet Gabby Williams, and Crystal brought us down there. They got to high five the kids and things like that, and everyone else that was down there, so it was fun.
Well, we're just here. We got to go to the Storm game together. We haven't played with each other since July, so yeah, since everyone's in high school and then some girls are little, we have like different schedules, so we finally got to see each other after a couple months.
Julie.
Yeah, why?
She's just my favorite.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you love most about her vibe?
I guess just how she plays, I guess. I just like watching basketball.
Yeah? How did you fall in love with basketball?
Well, I don't actually know. My dad played and then he was telling me about it and then I just tried it and then I loved it.
We're at the Climate Pledge watching the Storms game. I'm here with my family and my team. It's just going to be exciting. Jewel Lloyd's on the court. It's just an exciting day today.
We're very adamant about keeping the doors open for the community in South Seattle and the Central District. Of course, we have tryouts and everybody from around the city comes and they try out, but it's really focused around the community in the area, which is why we try to like keep practices in South Seattle and in the CD, so it's very convenient for us, the actual kids in the community to come actually play. And we're all volunteers, so this is not a pay-to-play program. We're volunteers, we're giving back to the community. It helps everyone in there just so they have an outlet and can play competitive basketball with coaches that actually will coach them up to their potential. So like I said, we make sure that we do open the doors to everybody around us. We like to have the girls coming in and compete. And at the end of the day, Rotary and Lady Style is community. We want the community to come in. We want the community to embrace us. We want us to be a family.
All right, guys, that's it for today. I had an amazing time with the girls. Not gonna lie, I do wish that I could stay a little bit longer, but I have another shoot to go to. But what I will say is this, as someone that used to go to Rotary, it is so amazing to see these girls come together, be such a family, have such a bond to where they're like, man, we end up missing each other throughout the year because now that we're all in high school, we're not able to hang out as much. So look, I'm gonna get out of here, but what I will say is this, it is amazing to see that these girls and the Rotary are still like a family, and it's all about community. I can't wait to see what these young ladies do in the future, and trust and believe, I'll definitely be checking out one of your games soon. Now, while I was at the Storm game, I ran into my buddy Chuck from Circling Seattle Sports, and of course, we had to talk about how epic Joel Lloyd is, also known as Gold Mamba. Just a day before the last day of the season, Joel re-signed with the Seattle Storm and also ended with a record-setting season as she led the WNBA in points per game and set the league's single-season scoring record with 939 points this year. And Joel was also just named to the Associated Press WNBA first team earlier this week. Congratulations, Joel, for making history, and I look forward to seeing you back at Climate Pledge next season. We're off to another commercial break, but when we come back, we're rejoined by our friends Anthony and Marley Love of Traveling While Black for their tips on what to do around Washington this fall. Welcome back to Back2Besa. It's the third Saturday of the month, and that means it's time for us to check in with Anthony and Marley Love from Traveling While Black. And this week, they let us know 4 fall activities they recommend in Washington State. Let's check out their suggestions.
Hey Besa, we are back with some more TWB approved recommendations.
With fall just around the corner, we wanted to get 4 amazing options for fall activities right here in Washington. First up, apple picking at Bellwood Farms. Located in Linden, Washington, Bellwood Farms is a great location to pick apples with the whole family via the You Pick Apple Orchard. Along with the apple orchard, the farm offers a pumpkin patch, corn maze, an award-winning distillery, and a cafe and store. This was actually the topic of our first ever YouTube episode, and we went back in episode 116 for our 3-year anniversary. And even though we still didn't know the difference between a Honeycrisp and other apples, just like our first visit, we had a great time. And that's why we recommend it as a great fall activity.
Our next recommendation is also a great option for the whole family. Pumpkin picking at Sears Farms. Sears Farms is, how they put it, a small farm just on the outskirts of Redmond, Washington. But this small farm does offer a variety of options for fun, which of course include picking pumpkins from the farm's pumpkin patch. During pumpkin season, which is the month of October, the farm is open on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Visitors can choose from a variety of pumpkins ranging from all shapes and sizes. But picking pumpkins isn't the only thing visitors can do on the farm. They also have a corn maze, duck races, and even an animal train that takes folks around the farm. We definitely had a great time during our visit, and that's why we recommend pumpkin picking at Sears Farm as a recommended fall activity.
Our next recommendation is a little more geared for adult fun. Fremont Oktoberfest. Fremont Oktoberfest takes place every year in the Fremont neighborhood and is known as Seattle's biggest beer festival. We attended the event in 2021 and had a blast. Along with some cool beer mugs and the many varieties of beer, the event offered a bunch of awesome food vendors, a DJ with a dance section, and a whole lot of people having a great time. This year's event is taking place from September 22nd through 24th, but you can only purchase tickets to the event online at fremontoktoberfest.com. We recommend checking it out.
For another adult-oriented fall recommendation, how about a wine tour via Norvino Tours? Norvino Tours is a Black-owned wine tour company, in fact the only one in the state. Norvino offers amazing wine tour experiences with knowledgeable guides and unique routes built around the themes of wine, culture, and adventure. Norvino Tours definitely makes the experience a great time by providing snacks and even games with prizes en route to the scheduled wineries to taste some of the best tasting wine in Western Washington. So if you're looking for a unique fall activity, we definitely recommend everyone experiencing one of Norvino's tours. Visit their website at norvinotours.com to find out more.
Obviously, all of these locations and activities within have been TWB approved.
You can see a full overview of our experience at each on our YouTube channel at Traveling While Black and at our TikTok page at TWB Seattle.
Until next time, beautiful people, stay up, stay true, and do you.
Now, I've always heard about the Fremont Oktoberfest, but I've never made it, so I think I'll change that this year, along with going apple picking at Bellwood Farms. Huge shout out to Anthony and Marley Love for showing us different things to do around Washington State each month. Not only are your suggestions appreciated by Back2Besa viewers, but so do I. Catch the latest episode of Traveling While Black at travelingwhileblackseattle.com. Now, speaking of things to do, we're off to another break. But when we come back, it's time for events to know about.
What I would say to that future entrepreneur is self-care. I think that the process of building a business and wearing all the hats that come with that can be very challenging. And sometimes we miss out on really cool, important opportunities with people we love and within our community. And although we make an impact as entrepreneurs, to people in our community, especially like with our families, like not only from a financial standpoint, but just from them seeing you live your dreams, it can inspire the people in your house and the folks around you. But I also think that entrepreneurship can be hard, and sometimes you don't think about taking care of yourself. And I think that should be something that's planned from the very beginning when you start to think about owning a business.
Welcome back to Back2Besa. It's time for events to know about, where I give events coming up around the city you should know. First up, Monday, September 18th is Madison Park Art Walk 2023 at Madison Park. Wednesday, September 20th is Wine Wednesdays at the Bottleneck Lounge. Now, Friday, September 22nd through Saturday, September 23rd is Fremont Oktoberfest, which, as you saw, Traveling While Black definitely already told you it was a vibe. Now, Saturday, there's a lot of things going on Saturday, September 23rd to be exact. Babyface and SWV are going to be at Washington State Fair. Hot Sauce is back at Q Nightclub, and in case you don't know, it's literally a super dope party vibe that goes down over at Q Nightclub over in Cap Hill. Now, also that same day, Defy Last King comes to Washington Hall, and if we move on over to Monday, September 25th, the Seattle Mariners versus Houston Astros goes down at T-Mobile Park. Also that same day is the preseason Game 1, Seattle Kraken versus Calgary. And by the way, if you've never been to a Seattle Kraken game, check out a little bit of what went down the first time I pulled up. Yeah, trust me, you don't want to miss out this year. Now, keeping it moving, on Tuesday, September 26th is the Paint and Sip series featuring Sauce One. That comes to Tacoma Dark Room. And if we move over to Friday, October 6th, Victoria Monet brings the Jaguar Tour to Wonder Ballroom in Portland. Now, that's it for this week's events to know about. But if you know of an event I should shout out next week, send me an email with the event details to Back2Besa at whereweconverge.com. We're off to our last break, but when we come back, it's time for Affirmation of the Week. Welcome back to Back2Besa. Dude, before we end every show, you already know we got to jump into our Affirmation of the Week. This week's affirmation is, the words of others do not affect me. Negativity bounces off me. I wanted to pick this for this week's affirmation because sometimes we just need a little extra body armor. And I'm not talking literally, but mentally, because the words of others can only define you if you let it. Now, that's it for this week's episode of Back2Besa. If you have anything you want me to know about, as usual, shoot me an email at Back2Besa at whereweconverge.com and catch me on the radio in Seattle on Hits 106.1, weekdays 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. And in Portland, Saturdays 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Jammin' 107.5. And of course, dude, I gotta thank you all for tuning in with me every single weekend. Like, you take the time to either watch me on a Saturday night, rewatch me on a Sunday morning, and dude, we're at episode 12. Like, this is absolutely unbelievable, and it truly is a dream come true, but it wouldn't be without you all. So I just really wanted to say thank you. And of course, you know what I gotta say. I want you to have an amazing rest of your day and definitely keep that energy high.